6th grade and I go to Kaiser Middle School.
Olivia Newcomb is a bright, energetic 11-year-old. Her passions include volleyball, swimming, family, and even school.
And reading. I love reading.
She's a happy, healthy middle schooler now, but life for Olivia didn't begin that way.
We were obviously very excited. We had had 2 miscarriages prior, so when we got, well, she got pregnant, I guess we got pregnant the 3rd time, you know, we're obviously very excited, but also concerned with the previous problems that we had had.
We found out probably pretty early with Olivia, 4 or 5 weeks, that we were pregnant, and it was very exciting, and you know, all the new pregnancy things to celebrate.
Celebration soon turned to concern when at 28 weeks, Julie's blood pressure became elevated. Doctors confined her to bed rest. She took it all in stride, fully expecting to return to work and normal activities. But just a week into her bed rest, another setback.
1 week into my bed rest situation, I started feeling not so great.
You could tell just looking at Julie that night. We were at her parents' for dinner, and just her color, it was quite obvious that something was not right.
Julie didn't think she needed any medical help, but her family insisted on it. So she gave in and went to the hospital. Doctors ran a bunch of tests, and in less than 24 hours, they found an answer.
They came in and said, we have preeclampsia, it's here, and the only way to fix this is to deliver your baby. So guess what? Call your friends and family. Olivia will be here in an hour. Do your prep, do what you need to do. Scary time.
Again, just very concerned having this child so early in a pregnancy, and just the unknown of once she is delivered, what kind of condition is she going to be in? Will organs and, you know, everything be fully developed? What kind of potential health problems would she potentially have? So yeah, we were very concerned. Not the normal pregnancy that I'm used to hearing about.
That hour quickly went through. We had Olivia, emergency C-section, 2 pounds, 9 ounces, little bitty baby. With a C-section, you're strapped down, and there's not a lot that you can really do to touch and love on them, and they have them in the little isolette. So Andy did get to cut the cord. We have some great photos of that, and that's a really a wonderful moment that I think he had. But they put her in the isolette. I was able to reach out and touch her and say hello, and then they took her away.
Well, when I first saw her, I was overjoyed, especially to be, again, as early as it was, but you know, everything was there, all the toes and fingers, and she was crying, which was, I knew, obviously a good thing. She looked totally fine and healthy, other than being extremely small. She was born at only 2 pounds, 9 ounces, so she was extremely small, and you know, I definitely wasn't used to seeing an infant that small. But in my eye, she was beautiful and looked great.
Baby Olivia was rushed to neonatal intensive care, Julie to adult intensive care.
They said, we're going to put her in the NICU and take care of her with great care while we take care of you as well.
I was very concerned for Julie, having left her back in the delivery room, wondering what she's thinking, how she feels, only getting to see her baby for all of probably 10 seconds, not even getting to hold her. So I was very worried about her as well.
After a few days, I was out of the ICU and did get to see her. I finally got to hold her 4 days in. She was 4 days old when I held her for the first time, and that was a great moment. It was so wonderful.
As the days passed, both Julie and Olivia got stronger and showed considerable improvement, but still, there were some anxious moments.
She, of course, born at 29.5 weeks. They were very worried about her lungs and had to do the surfactant, and she was on a ventilator for a while and a CPAP for a while.
She did go all the way down to 1 pound, 15 ounces. That was a week after she was born, which time, she also made a journey in the middle of the night to the hospital in Chapel Hill. They called us at 3 in the morning that she had developed a blood clot in her leg, and they needed to rush her over there to have the doctors there take a look at it because it was something they couldn't handle there.
Then came the hardest time of all for Julie and Andy.
I remember the day that I had to leave, and it was awful. You know, your plan is to go home with your baby. You don't know that it's going to be any different. Your plan is to leave in the back of your car, ride home with your child, your husband driving you home. Everybody's exciting. And that day, when I was released, Andy and myself went home alone.
Family, friends, they all come home with their child. And we were not fortunate to be able to do that. Olivia stayed in a hospital for 8.5 weeks after she was born. And that was very difficult. Every time we left the hospital without her for those 8.5 weeks was tough every time.
If home is where the heart is, then home for Julie and Andy became the neonatal intensive care unit. That's where they spend most of their waking moments with little Olivia. After 8.5 weeks, she was ready to go home, but still struggled with bradycardia, a condition where very shallow breathing slows the heart rate. The decision was made to allow Olivia to go home, but wearing a heart monitor that sounds an alert when the heart rate slows down made for some pretty tense moments.
She was on that heart monitor. We went home mid-August until almost Thanksgiving. She stayed on it. So that was very scary because it would go off in the middle of the night. We'd think, oh, her heart's stopping or doing something nuts.
When you're in the middle of a sleep and all of a sudden this alarm starts ringing at 2, 3 in the morning or in the middle of the night, I mean, you jump out of the bed like you've never jumped out of the bed, and you go running in there, and you know that everything's probably fine because the point of the alarm is to wake and alert the child so that they will breathe. But nonetheless, I mean, you've never jumped out of a bed so quick in your life.
Olivia continued to improve and was off the heart monitor completely before her first Christmas. Those first months brought many challenges and countless joys as Julie and Andy, grandparents, family, and friends cared for Olivia and helped her grow into a happy, healthy 11-year-old. They're grateful for the role the March of Dimes played in helping her through those difficult early days.
Until it happens to you, where that situation or that cause is something that's kind of rolling into your life, you don't realize what they do. So thankful that they exist, because without the March of Dimes, we wouldn't have had so many of the things that helped Olivia in the NICU. I think it's saved so many babies and helped so many families over the years, and the goal with this is to keep those things going. Make sure that people are aware of what's happening out there. Make sure that people get involved and know that this group needs your support.
I can't say enough about the development of processes and medicines and things that they do to help premature infants who probably not that long ago, in Olivia's case, may not even have made it. So it's something that's very important to us, the care that we did receive when she was in the hospital, and knowing where a lot of that care is developed and some of those procedures, where they come from. So the March of Dimes has been very important to us, and we really enjoy supporting.
Olivia enjoys excellent health today and a bright future for tomorrow. But not all preemies are so fortunate. Many have lifelong struggles as a result of complications with premature birth, and sadly, some still don't survive. Research funded by the March of Dimes has helped, but the problem still exists. You can make a difference. Won't you please help us help them? Thank you for supporting the March of Dimes.